I really appreciate you coming in here. I've always wondered about what it is to be a billet parent. I'm kind of excited about this. I think the St. John Sea Dogs fan base will enjoy it also. Here with me is Heather and John Britton, billet parents for the St. John Sea Dogs. They have been doing so for 14 years. Is that correct?
It is.
14 years. 17 billet kids. 16 technically, but there's one special one that we'll toss in there and you can tell me all about. Are you ready?
We are.
Why?
Right.
Why on earth does someone decide to invite a 16-year-old hockey player into your home? John, tell me about that.
We've had tickets to see the Sea Dogs since they came to town. Hockey fans, we have two boys. They played hockey their full lives. Back then, when we started billeting, they were 6 and 3.
Okay.
They're now 18 and 15. I went to the rink with my older boy, Eric, a fair bit, me and him. It used to be Heather and I, and then once he got a little old, she said, "Why don't you take him to the rink instead of me?" So a lot of times it would be Dad and Eric going. The reason, I guess, from my side of things was I always thought, you know what? Eric has a little brother, but he doesn't have the opportunity to have an older brother. It would be nice if he could somehow experience that in some way. I knew he liked hockey even at that young age, but this might be a way to give him some kind of an opportunity to have someone in the house living with us to look up to, big brother of sorts, that also plays the sport that he loves. And that's not to say it's not the same for my younger boy, Colin, but that was where it came from. Was let's have another guy in the house here that my oldest one will be able to look up to.
Excellent. So Eric's your oldest.
Yes, he is.
Colin's your youngest.
Yes.
Whose idea was this? By the sounds of it, it was John's? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Heather, did you need some convincing on this grandiose decision in your household?
I did. John had approached it before Eric was 6. And I let him know that once Colin was able to speak and have full sentences, we could definitely sit down and think about it.
Yeah.
So when Colin was at that point, John and Eric became friends with the billet coordinator at the rink and another billet family that sat in our section. And he brought it home at one point and said we could just take a player for training camp and try it.
A test run.
A test run, just a couple weeks. So hence we ended up with our very first billet ever, Gareth Nicholson. And Gareth was just with us for a couple weeks, but he certainly sealed the deal for us to continue going forward. I remember talking to my parents and saying, we're going to try this. And my mother's first words were, "You're going to let a stranger live in your house with my grandkids?"
Oh, well, it's a legit concern, I guess.
And I said, "Well, Mom, that's someone's child looking for a home." So we went into it thinking we would just try it for a couple weeks.
Yep.
But our very first billet, Gareth, he definitely sealed the deal for us to keep going forward. And hence, 17 billets later, 14 seasons in, we're still here.
I love it. That is great. It's really cool that, just a small little idea turned into this long-term family decision. You've had junior hockey players in your home for children's adolescent to teenage lives, and it's crazy, and you're still going strong. Really cool. John, were you nervous with your first billet?
No, I was pumped. I really, really was excited. And you know what? I have to say that the billet coordinator at the time made it so comfortable. She knew Eric. Eric had ways of meeting everybody in the rink. He was a very animated young boy and friendly, and people look at him and just want to talk to him, and he'd talk right back to them. And,
Okay.
we got to know Shanna pretty good. And when I mentioned to her that we were thinking about it, she said, "You're kidding me. Are you playing with me or are you serious?"
Yeah.
Because he said, "If you're serious, I am going to find a billet for you that's going to make you want to keep doing this. I don't know who yet, but I will find a guy that you want to keep going year after year." And I said, "Well, we don't know if we want to." I was worried that this is a big responsibility and I don't want to accept it. And within a few weeks say, we made a big mistake.
Yeah, for sure.
We can't handle this. But she said, You just do it for training camp. We have 50 odd players come, and we need people that can just handle them for a short time. And that kind of took the pressure off. It's like, okay, well, if it doesn't work out, then well, we can walk away.
Yeah.
But she did it. She found a fella that within 48 hours, he's part of the family, and he never made the team. He was cut.
Okay.
But he's still very much a part of our families now. In fact, Heather and Eric went to the Q draft, which was 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And she saw our first billet with his wife and 2 kids now. Got to go have breakfast. Her and Eric went to have breakfast with them. And we only had him for a few weeks. And here we are 14 years later, and we're still in close contact. That's how this grows. So you can imagine the players we've had for 2 years, like how close we get.
Wow.
You know?
And when he was married, we were invited to the wedding, and Colin gave a speech at his wedding.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So,
Look at that. It was like
Impromptu speech. Yeah.
impromptu little brother speech.
yeah.
How cool is that? That is great. So looking back now, Heather, if you could take yourselves back to that moment when Gareth Nicholson walked through that door, what did that initially feel like? Where was he from?
He was from Kentville,
Kentville.
Nova Scotia.
Okay, Kentville, Nova Scotia. And he didn't end up making the team, is that correct?
No, he ended up having a severe concussion during training camp. So he was supposed to make it, but ended up not.
Okay.
So we let the billet coordinator know when he left that we loved having him and we thought we could keep going. I had 2 rules.
Ooh, what are these 2 rules?
No goalies, because they can be strange.
Oh, how dare you, Heather? All those goalies out there.
No fighters. I couldn't have my little boys going to a rink and cheering on someone who was going to go fight every game. Having said that, she got back to us and said, I have a goalie. He's with me. He's from my hometown and he's very normal.
He's normal. I love it.
She ended up bringing us the goalie. So he was our second billet, which was Blade Man Dixon.
Okay. See that?
And Blade to this day is still a part of our family, part of our lives, our boys' lives. So I guess he wasn't that weird.
Well, yeah, I've always heard goalies are weird, but all the goalies that I seem to know are pretty cool dudes, right?
Yes.
Like, they're on an island a little bit. They do some strange routines warming up, but the ones that I know are all seemingly just like everybody else. Who is this billet coordinator you keep mentioning? What's his or her name?
Shanna Hopkins.
Shanna Hopkins. And it's the same billet coordinator from 14 years ago that is now, or no?
No. Shanna was the first billet coordinator who got John and Eric on board, to get me on board. And she lived around the corner from us in our subdivision. But Shanna has moved on. She now lives in Nova Scotia. She works for St. FX. That's her hometown. And that's where Blade was from. So that's how she kind of brought him to us.
Excellent. And John, who's the billet coordinator now that you deal with?
Well, that's a good question because right now is kind of in a state of flux, and I wouldn't say that at this point in time there actually is a fine person coming into next season, but that will probably happen.
Okay.
So,
In transition
now, in saying that, it sparks my mind. Is that something that you would like to take on as a role? Could you become the St. John Sea Dogs billet coordinator?
well, I don't think it's a matter of whether I or we could. We've always been of the mindset that it's best to have a billet coordinator that's not actively billeting players.
Okay.
To have someone that's a step away from that.
Yes.
And that's just our opinion. And as such, I don't think that we would ever be interested in that while we're billeting.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
There is an interesting point about it because I learned a lot from Shanna back in the day and watched how she did this. And I thought, how did she get this fella? She said she would get someone that would fit into our family like a hand in a glove. And she did.
Okay.
And when they named Gareth, Heather looked at me and she said, "Who's he?" I said, "I don't know. He's new to the team. I don't know anything about him." But Shanna was correct. I felt that Shanna really made a very strong effort to match players with homes because you can imagine there's all sorts of different homes out there.
For sure.
There's some with young kids, some with older kids, some without kids, or depending on where they live in the area. There's all these different variables. She'd know the billets, and she'd say, this player would be good now.
Okay, interesting. It sounds like there's a bit of a billet parent draft.
Well, there is.
The Britton family gets.
Yeah, that doesn't happen every year because, for instance, the 2 players we had last year are coming back.
Yeah.
They don't go back into a pot, and it's just there's interviews throughout the year. The team checks in with the players and checks in with the billets
To make sure that to make sure everyone's
Is
happy.
this a good place? And from what we understand, our 2 billets are very eager to come back to us, and we're eager to have them back, barring any trades, of course, because that is one of the billet family's worst nightmares, is trading period.
Yeah. Yeah, right. You grow these attachment with these humans who become your kids, essentially. You're packing their bags on a Friday and they're gone by Sunday.
Yeah.
So at some point, when one of these kids is named to your family, is there a meeting between you and their parents first before they come? Or do the kids just show up and you might get a phone call with a parent?
Show up in a phone call.
Oh, really? So, yeah, so there's
Usually.
so they show up and it's just go time.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
That's usually how training camp goes. And then as long as it's going well, they tend to stay and their parents talk with you and you figure things out from there together.
Tell me a bit about the preparation for a billet kid. There must be a list. Do you get the schedule beforehand? The first year, how do you figure that all out? How to manage that?
So usually the team is on top of planning it. So players with cars are strategically placed.
Okay.
So as billet, you're not really required to drive them very often.
Okay.
Maybe here or there, but not typically. They usually have strategically placed it with players who have cars.
I never realized that.
And they've also worked it out that university players, high school players, they've worked it out that everybody is taken care of within the player organization.
Okay.
The meals don't really change unless there's an allergy.
Okay.
The meals are just family style.
Family style, healthy eating.
Yeah, you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If the boys need more, they know what to do. They know what to ask for. It's really well planned out within the organization, and they try and make sure they make the best fits possible.
Excellent.
Yeah.
When does training camp start usually?
Mid-August.
Yeah.
Okay, and that runs 2 weeks?
It runs to Labor Day weekend.
Okay, so they show up for that training camp, they grind it out. I'm assuming that these players, when they're there, they're having kind of ongoing evaluation with the coaches. They're coming home. They're probably talking to you about the evaluation process a little bit, so you can kind of know where they stand. Is that stressful for you too, as these young players are in your home and you're kind of wondering, are they going to make it or aren't they?
It is stressful, just that they become a part of your family so quick. You don't want to see them leave.
Yeah.
And you're hoping that they're making a good impression. Now, for us, through the years, some years are easier than others.
Yeah.
Because we know the players we have are slated to be big parts of the team. So that stress isn't there.
Yeah.
But when we get a newer or younger player that trying to make the team, it's stressful for us. We just want to see them succeed. We want to see them come home with a smile on their face to say they made the team rather than the opposite. We've seen both of those things happen.
Yeah.
And it's a little easier now with our boys older, but when they're younger, it's awful hard explaining to them why this player's leaving tomorrow.
Yeah.
Many tears shed.
I bet.
It's hard. It's always hard. But we've gotten a little used to it, so we're ready for the hard part when it happens. It's still hard though. But every year brings its challenges, but in training camp, you're wondering what's going to come out of it.
Yeah.
If they make the team, where are they slated? Are they going to be a regular part of the team, or are they an extra forward or extra defenseman? That brings challenges too, because there's a mental part of this that's hard on the players sometimes when they come to play, but they're sitting. Now we do our best as their parents away from home to try to support them through all that. It's easy to support them through the good times, but it's so important through the bad when they're having a hard time. To try to give them some perspective and give them the help they need. Sometimes the help they need is to be left alone.
you've probably both navigated that a lot, where certain kids, you can talk to them right after a problem and hash it out and help them out. Then others, that, ooh, we better give this person 24 hours or whatever to cool off. And
You're right.
you feel that out and
You learn.
go along. Yeah.
Hey.
So it's every year you learn how to reparent again.
You do.
Yeah.
All right.
You do. You learn a lot.
Yeah. Which probably makes you great communicators. I'm assuming it makes you great communicators and probably helps you manage your own children along the way, because your kids were small at one point and you're dealing with all these young adults with young adult problems and girlfriends and cuts and all the things. And you were able to kind of test run parenting.
You're completely right.
Right?
It's been a test run.
Right. So
and our boys know coming into their teenage years, and Eric's turning 19, Colin's turning 16. A lot of it's been tried, tested.
You know it all.
And it's not going to work out.
There's no pulling the wool over Heather Britton's eyes, right?
You could try, but
you've seen it.
I think some things have happened. But in all honesty, these boys they're very well behaved.
Yeah.
They're busy, school, practice, hockey. There's not a lot of free time. So there's actually not a lot of room for, a lot to happen.
You're right.
But when it does, my boys know it's been tried, tested, and failed. So we're there.
That is great. I guess this one's for you, Heather. At what point does billeting no longer feels like, oh, I just have this hockey player in my house, and it starts to feel like, oh, this is my son? At what point does that usually kind of happen?
It takes 24 hours or less to love someone else's kid like your own. You want to treat someone else's child the way you want someone to treat yours. So if one of my boys was going into someone else's home and looking to make a team, go to school, you want them to be loved and taken care of right away. I learned that early on. I think it was our third billet. He was traded to us, Jason Bell.
Jason Bell.
Jason came to us after Christmas. He was traded to us from Cape Breton, and Jason drove by himself. He got to our house. John was with the military that evening, and I'll never forget him coming in. He shook my hand, and I remember his hand shaking as he shook my hand. And the first thing he said to me was, "You have 2 kids?" And I said, "Yes, I have 2 little boys." And he said, "Are they asleep?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Can I just see them?" I thought, that's weird. Sure.
Yeah, okay.
But I took him down and I opened the boys' bedroom doors, and I remember him looking at Colin and him saying, "Oh, I think he'll be fun." Because Colin was little. He was 4.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? This is just a kid looking to fit in with a family. That's all he's looking. He just wants a family. And I remember the next day when Colin got up, he was like, "Is the hockey player here?" I said, "Yes, he's
like
downstairs."
Christmas
And he
gift.
was like,
Yes.
"Sweet." Off he went, and they were best friends from then on out. It really does take less than 24 hours to love someone else's kid like your own. They're just looking for a family to fit in with. They just want to be home for the time that they're there. And they just want to feel comfortable and feel loved and taken care of. And it's easier than you think it is.
Hey, can I come live with you guys? Like, seriously, let's go, man. Sign me up. This is great.
Only in the summer because they're away, but when the boys come back, we get no more room.
Yeah, like I can skate, kind of. So, I mean, I'll come live with you for a bit. And
It's easier than it sounds. It truly is.
that's great.
And my mom, who said, "You're just going to let a stranger come and live in your home with my grandkids," she was probably the first one to push me and say, "Well, Heather, like, these are nice boys. You have to take care of them."
Yeah.
I'm well aware.
And she probably I bet you she's become a bit of a grandmother at one.
She did.
Yeah.
They loved her. She would take care of the boys when we would travel. And
There
they
you go.
loved when my mom came. So
Bake treats and this and that.
exactly.
Oh, yeah. A
She
little
was the
different.
baker.
Yeah.
So they loved it. But to go from, "You're going to let a stranger live in your home with my grandchildren to you're going to take care of these boys, right?
Yeah.
It became a no-brainer. I truly have to say, the 17 big boys we have had the best. We've been so fortunate to have amazing young men who have been absolute role models to our boys, and they all look up to. They love them like their own brothers.
For sure.
And they talk to most of them sometimes before we do.
That's easy now too with social media and stuff. As soon as they know which billet's coming, I'm sure the boys are firing the DM like, "Hey, I'm calling him Eric. I'm gonna be your brother," and they probably start that relationship
Probably.
before they even get here. I bet you that's comforting to the player to a certain extent too, because as they're driving across the country or flying in, they've already kind of bridged the gap a little bit with who they're going to be living with, and that's kind of cool. John, was there one player that stands out in your mind that, within 24 hours, a week, you suddenly realize that this isn't just temporary. This is going to be someone that's going to feel like family forever?
Not one. Well, I guess I'd say Gareth, right from the start. We still say thanks to Gareth and say you're a big part of why we've done this as long as we have.
Yep.
Because if we would have got a bad taste from that, we would have just said not for us, and we wouldn't have done it. We wouldn't have tried the next year. We would have said no. We tried that, but we got so close to him so fast, and it was heartbreaking when he left.
Yeah.
We were crying too, and the boys were losing their minds. They were upset, and poor Gareth was crying too, and it's tough. And then we got Blade after that, and like Heather said, 24 hours. Now he's part of the family. The funny thing about having Gareth and then Blade, well, Blade was with the Sea Dogs some and was down in Junior A some. He kind of bounced back and forth a bit. And when Jason Bell came, Blade was in Junior A. Shanna said, well, Blade's in Junior A now, but we have this player coming, Jason, and we'd like to put him with you. So I said, sure, let's try it. Well, then Heather says to me, well, what if Blade comes back? Like, he needs to stay here. I said, well, we don't have a room for him. But she made it very clear to Shanna that if Blade gets called up, we are taking him. We will find a spot for him.
We'll figure it out. We'll make a room.
And he did come back up for a few days at a time, stayed on the couch.
That's when you make a second bedroom.
And then that summer, Heather said we are putting a second bedroom.
That's it. John, get the building.
Ever since then, we've had two players.
Okay. You're going two at a time now.
Almost all the time, yeah. The only time I'm going is when one of them gets dealt and there's a little bit of a lapse, and then the Sea Dogs will, at some point, we just tell them we're willing. You let us know. The bottom line is we're also big hockey fans, big Sea Dog fans, and we want to see the team succeed. So if the team thinks it's best to just have us with this one guy for the rest of the year, that's fine.
Yep.
If they think they want to put another one and they have an idea who, we never say no. It's just like whoever you think. I'll make a caveat there. We always have to check with our current player if we're going to bring another one in, and we always say it's up to them.
Yeah.
They get a say in this.
Well, that's interesting.
Because this is now kind of their home. To bring another player in, we want to make sure that our current player says, yeah, I'm good with that, because we don't want to create stress for them.
For sure.
We brought in someone that, for whatever reason, it's been fantastic. Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know why this just popped in my head, but as you're saying that, I had no clue that you would check in with your current billet to see if it's okay to have another billet. My mind just went to foster parenting for some reason. I don't know how it really works. They take on multiple, and I bet there's not a say. This is very different. This billet parent program that you're part of is real special. And these kids are driven humans. So as you're saying, Heather, they, in theory, are good humans, and they're busy. They're built on structure. They're driven. They wouldn't be leaving home to pursue this dream if they didn't have some sort of fortitude or good qualities within to do that. It's a huge jump. Think about it all the time with my kids, and whether or not I have it in me to let them go when the time comes, especially early on. I talked about this with one of the other guests, but Jasmine Creamer's one of my favorite humans, but she left home at, I think she was 14 years old. She's never returned. right?
Yeah.
Right. She went to Vermont prep school to play hockey. I think she was in a dorm though, but she might have had some billet parents at one point. You're letting your child go because they're that driven to go explore and start their lives, and then you kind of have to accept that as a parent, and you hope that on the other end you have someone like you two that are helping them through that.
And it's our job never to judge a player's parent for how they are being a part of their son's life, because I've never let my children leave home at 15, 16 years old. So it's not my place to judge. It's my place to support, enforce their rules, make them our rules, and we become a team together. I can certainly take your son in, and I can make it as easy as I can for you and your family and for him. But it's not my place or our place as a family to judge. We truly try and work as a team to make sure that your rules are our rules, and we support each other to support him, to make sure that this is as successful as it can be.
You guys are the biggest part of the Sea Dogs team, right? The billet parents. Right?
We have a lot of great billets.
The billet parents, not just you, but billet parents. Like without you guys, like they don't have a team, right? They're not going to just put these kids up in a hotel for 8 months as they figure it out, right? They have to have a home to go to in order to have this team here. That can't happen without people like you.
I think it says a lot about the organization because we're going into our 14th season. It's obviously a good, supportive organization, and they do what they can to make sure that the players are in the right places with the right people. So we've had many players traded. We're no strangers to trades. It's hard. The hardest part about billeting is letting them go. That's the heartbreaking part. I will tell you, it never gets easier. I thought it was hard when our boys were young. I thought that was the hardest time, like players getting traded or leaving. No, it's no different last year than this year or our first year. It's hard.
I bet this is the answer to my next question. As a mother, what moments pull at your heartstrings the most? And it sounds like letting them go.
I just put it
devastating.
now. It's letting them go. It's easy to take them in. It is. It's easy to take them in, and it's easy to make them feel comfortable and part of your family. The hardest part is watching them walk out the door and drive away.
I love that. There's emotion.
That's hard.
I can feel it. You're making me feel it a little bit. And
that's the hardest part. And I was asked at the dog awards by another billet, does it get easier? It doesn't. They each come into our home and our lives. Our boys' ages at different times, but they all bring something special. They all let us be a part of something. You want the best for them, and sometimes letting them go is the best for them, but it doesn't. That's the hardest part. Yeah.
love it. That's a great answer. And beautiful. It really is. It's funny. This all happened very fast. I'm getting my teeth cleaned, and he comes in. He's got the gloves on. I'm like, "Hey, Doc, you ever do a podcast?" No. He had no clue what the tactical tank was. And next thing you know, I'll message the boss. Heather will get things going, and here we are. So this is really cool. That was a powerful moment there. That feels good. And I tell you what, when and if your billet kids listen to this back and they see that, they're going to feel that, right? Because you're a part of their lives too, in their heart and in their minds. That's a core memory for the rest of their lives. And when they have their kids, they'll be telling their kids about when I played junior hockey. I had this family. They became my parents. Like that's huge.
I tell the boys, they come to our dinner table and we start things with our kids, and it gets crazy. And I always told them, remember, I'll show up at your dinner table and do the same. Well, now we're in a situation where we have 3 billets who have kids, but they all have daughters. None of them have sons yet.
Yeah.
But I did message one of our billets today and say, I was out this morning and I saw a pair of pink boxing gloves. I was tempted because one Christmas they gave our boys boxing gloves.
Yep.
They used to have fight night
Oh yeah, Fight
in
Club.
the basement.
Yeah, I can have Fight Club with the boys.
Yeah. It took 20 seconds for things to get on. And, I was like, where's the boxing bag? And they were like, I think they box each other.
Box each other's
And-
heads.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It got real in a heartbeat. So
Yeah.
I did message him today, and I'm interested to see when he messages
You should
back.
just send those boxing gloves down.
I should,
Yeah,
but I
that'd
like
be
his wife a lot, so I would never do that to her.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
Do both of you ever catch yourselves worrying about these boys the same way that you worry about your own two boys?
Always.
Oh, yeah.
Always. They really do become like your extended kids,
Yeah.
stepchildren, eventually, right? Like they become your children.
And we do check in on all of them. I mean, there's so many now. It takes a while, but we check in on them. I know for myself, more recent times, one of the concerns I had to do with we had a Russian player, Bill
Kuznetsov.
Kuznetsov.
Yes.
He's a great fella. And of course, with all the issues with Russia, that was first and foremost here at front and center. He was somewhere. I didn't know where, but I knew where he was from. And the news headline came out that his hometown was bombed because there's an airfield there.
Man.
And I messaged him. I hadn't talked to him in a while. I messaged him. I said, Jan, where are you? I think I texted him and nothing seemed to go through. So then Instagram's a favorite of these guys. So I messaged him on Instagram and I was concerned. I was really worried
For sure.
for him and his family. And it was off season and maybe he was home and who knows. But anyway, he did message back. Said, I'm in New Jersey. Where are you? I said, I'm back at home.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm glad to hear it. He said, yes, I'm just down here training. And he said, what's up? And I said, well, I was just checking on you because your hometown got bombed. There was just no message back.
So
It took about 15 minutes.
Might
And
have
then he
been-
messaged back, said, I guess you're right.
yeah, well, that's
He didn't even know.
that was probably the first time I heard that.
But he said, wow. And I said, well, I'm glad that you're not there. And I said, is your family okay? And he said, yes, I was just messaging with them. Everybody's fine. He said, wow, I didn't know about this. But don't worry about me because I'm in New Jersey right now. So that was probably the biggest scare I had with any of our former players was just,
That is terrifying, right? Because
But
you
they-
don't know.
yeah, they will answer usually fairly quickly, any of them. And even some that weren't those of ours, that spend a lot of time at our homes. You can message them, and a couple of guys come to mind, in particular Tom Shabbat and Matthew Joseph. I don't message them a lot, but when I do, it's minutes.
Boys respond.
A lot of times, the first thing they want to know is how's Heather and the boys? How's the team? How are things in the city?
Yeah.
Man, that was fun. We had so much fun there.
I mean, those are the stepping stones. Those are the core memories for those boys, right? Like they're
They are.
their true beginnings onto their pro careers, the ones that move on. And
And
I
I
think
will say, when the Sea Dogs hosted the Memorial Cup,
Mhm.
Trevor and Scott brought back a lot of alumni. We had some of the boys out to the house. The first thing they said was they missed their junior days.
Oh.
They would give anything to go back to their junior days. Like for them, those were their glory days.
Yep.
Like high school might be our glory days. That was their glory days.
Yep.
And they just, just being back in the city and feeling at home and feeling loved and like,
that was an
They-
amazing time.
yeah, it was.
That Memorial Cup.
They felt it like it was coming back home for them.
Yep.
That says something about an organization. It really does. That says a lot. If your players as alumni can come back and feel they're back at home, that says a lot. Trevor and Scott really do go above and beyond to make these boys feel they're always welcome. They bring them back anytime they can. They include them in everything they can. So
That's great. John, I'm gonna throw this one at you. Every young man at some point in their lives needs to hear the hard truth, need a little bit of the hard candy. Have you ever had a moment with one of these billet kids that you had to become dad and not billet parent? Put your foot down on something and set some rules straight.
You know what's funny? No.
Excuse me. Okay.
And there's a reason for that because there have been times when they've needed someone to step in and say, we have to have a talk.
Yeah.
Heather usually says, you let me handle this.
I like it.
And she does handle it. I'm telling you, I just picture the color draining from these boys' faces as she's somewhat dressing them down
Yep.
for something that they shouldn't have done. Bad decision, and the things that she talks about, it makes me want to cry.
Well, yeah. So everyone just goes into their shell.
Yeah.
And listen.
So she's very, very good and effective at it. So I just let her do it. But you know what? We haven't had many problems. And the problems we've had were mild, but they did require a talk.
Yeah.
But I would say that the players that we've had those talks with, and usually I'm a spectator, they're the ones that seem to have even a different respect for everything. We've had the comment that I appreciate now that I'm older that you did put me in my place when I needed to, because no one was there to do that. Everyone wanted to help me do whatever I thought I wanted to do, even if it wasn't right, but I was held accountable. And even if I didn't like it at the time, at this point in my life, I look back and I'm really thankful that you were there to do that.
The worst part is, I did the talk, and the only thing I ever got in reply was, "Are you going to tell John?" They were scared of him,
Yeah.
and he didn't do anything
Yeah.
because I would go tell him what I said, and he'd be like,
Oh,
"You
really?
said why, John?" Because
Oh no, I was
someone
proud.
has to.
I was proud of
But yeah, they
I
were
love it.
scared of him, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I love that. I love that, right? It's just kind
Nothing
of
to be scared of.
the dynamic of a family,
Oh,
right? I
like
love
what?
they respect you guys the exact same way they would respect their own parents, likely, right? Like that's
But
the
we
same
never
thing.
had anything big. Like
Yeah.
there was nothing ever that was a big deal. It was just little things, but it was just funny.
a lot of the times the comments would be, well, it would be, you tell John, but there would also be like, are you going to tell the coach? Are you going to tell my parents? Are you going to
Mhm.
tell the other billet families? The answer was always unequivocally no. We are not telling anybody. This is our business. Don't do it again.
Yeah.
Because you do it again, it does become everybody else's business.
That's right.
So we're going to give you a mulligan on this one. But now it's very clear that you don't do this kind of thing again. And if you do, you can expect your parents will know, the coaches will know, everybody will know, because you knew better this time.
They
And
never
that-
had to
and
share
that
it. They
never
shared on themselves.
Yeah, that never happened. Again,
They need that. They need
They
that,
do.
honestly. And I'm glad you guys bring that to them, because some of these kids have been spoon fed from an early age that I'm a star, I'm a star, I'm a star, whatever it is, right? They might get this feeling that I can do what I want or get away with what I want. To have that accountability, a fact checker, put them back in line as they go through this stage of, slight stardom, right? These sea dogs do have a little bit of
Like
street
you-
cred, we'll call it.
You have two little boys in this house who look up to you.
Yes.
You're their role model. We've got to make sure that we're making good choices going forward, because they do look up to you. Not just them, but they have friends who also look up to you. So,
Whole schools.
I mean, these boys are too busy to really get into trouble.
Yeah.
Like, they're-
And if they do get into trouble, they're likely gone, right?
yeah,
It'll spill out into the ice, and they'll get
yeah,
released,
and the coach
Yeah.
will deal with
right? It's be handled pretty quick.
it. I would say.
It's an easy way to find yourself out of the competitive pathway.
Yeah.
Is if you start doing stupid things off ice,
True.
right? That's
True.
so important.
the thing with these boys, you already mentioned it, that they're high achievers.
Yeah.
For their age, they're mature beyond their age, but they're still teenage boys. So you got to remember that we see how mature they are, but they also make silly decisions sometimes because they're teenagers.
Yeah.
And teenagers do. So we keep that in mind too. There's been these times we've had a talk, but it's never been anything really
No.
bad. It's bad enough that we say we can't just let this go without talking.
For sure.
We're going to have a chat, and it works out well. Yeah, Heather's got a great way of working that and getting the right reaction. They get humbled, and they don't do it.
Excellent. I love it. People always assume that it's fun all the time, maybe with these billet kids. But tell us about the nights that nobody sees. I'll let Heather kind of take this one. Is there any tough moments where maybe one of the players is, homesick or scratched, and it really affects them mentally? Tell us about some of those moments that you've dealt with.
We've definitely been through It's some late nights around the island in the kitchen, sitting and talking. It's a lot more of listening. It's not up to us to coach anybody. It's not up to us to judge a coach. Coaches see things we don't see. We take care of the home side of things, but we're certainly a sounding board and a listening board. And you got to know the signs. You got to pick up on he's not himself right now.
For sure.
Reach out to mom and dad, see if they see he's not himself right now. We're all a team. So we definitely had some late nights around the island where sitting there listening over some hot chocolate and you just let them pour it out. And then the next day they start over and you encourage them the best you can. I'm just a parent and we know our place. So you just listen, you help them through it. You encourage them where to go next, who to talk to. I will tell you, they don't come knock on the bedroom door and look for John.
I'm looking for you.
Yeah.
They want mom.
They want mom. Yeah.
Yeah. If they're out and they need to drive home, they're not looking for John. They're looking for mom. You know, I grew up that way. John grew up that way.
Yeah.
Like, we're totally into it. My boys, they're probably not going to call John. When they need to drive home, they're going to call mom.
You're like the safety net, Heather. You're the safety net of everything here. This is great.
Do you know what, though? I have to say, I have a great support system with the boys' parents. I look back over all of these boys, and it's always been a team effort.
Yeah.
Whether it's with their parents, the organization, it's always a team effort. So you feel supported. You have other billets who have been through things that can support you. So it's a total community. It really is. You're never alone. It's a community effort.
For sure. Sounds like this kitchen island is like the meeting place, right? Whenever there's a hard conversation to be had or a sad one, or you just need to be there to listen. Sounds like trying to visualize this nice kitchen island, and it's almost midnight and the light's low and you got
it, Cliff.
you got the hot chocolate out, and it's just sometimes you're just listening, sometimes you're giving a little bit of advice, and what a cool atmosphere that must be for those young people going through things and trying to figure it out.
My favorite nights too. It really is. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I feel like we've been so blessed to be a small part of big adventures. Just to be able to sit there and listen. Yeah. It's a privilege.
Do they go home for Christmas, or are they with you for Christmas?
No, they go home. We did have one player stay once just because of quarantine.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he just didn't want to go back and quarantine and come back.
Yeah.
But no, they go home at Christmas.
So there's a little break. They get to go back to the family.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk draft. I mean, you were just at the draft with no billet kids currently in it, but you were there because several of your old billet kids happened to be in the area, and you and your son traveled down there. You've seen the highs and lows of the draft process. Have you ever had to sit around the kitchen island because one of your billet kids maybe was a little down in the dumps because their name wasn't called where they thought it would be, or wasn't called at all?
No, we went to the draft with Joe Valeno. We took the boys, and Joe went later in the draft than expected.
Yep.
But he was happy with where he went. It turned out to be a really great start for him. That was really special for our boys. We surprised them. They didn't know they were going.
Yep.
Joe knew we were coming, and we flew to Montreal. The next day, we were going out to fly to Dallas, and our boys still didn't know where we were going.
Okay.
And ahead in the security lineup was Joe, and Colin saw him, and Colin screamed, "Joe!"
Yeah,
and went running through, and the security had to come get Colin because he went right through. But no, we really haven't had to deal with that. Like, I think reality, agents are really good with the reality of things.
Yeah.
Be prepared for this, but expect this just in case. Parents are, I think they're
fully in the know.
Yeah, just as on board. We'll see how it goes next season.
Yeah, you have
with
you have
Alexi.
you have
So-
two. Who do you have right now?
Joseph and Dylan Rossi.
Okay, Alexia and Dylan Rossi.
Yeah.
Excellent. We'll talk about them a little after.
Sure.
I want John. I want you to take me back. I'm glad you brought up Joe Veleno. Joe Veleno has had a fairly long NHL career now. He was with the Red Wings at one point, was he not?
He was drafted in Dallas by the Red Wings.
Okay, yeah. So with the Red Wings, he's currently with the Habs.
Mhm.
Heather's a Habs fan, just so everybody knows. She's joined Team Red and Blue and White. No, you're in. We're done with the Boston Bruins, and you're now Habs fan. All right, we're in.
Hope so.
So Joe is an interesting story, I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, John. I think he was like the youngest player in QMJHL history, or he had like some sort of exceptional status to play.
Yes, he did.
Can you just enlighten me on that a little bit?
Well, the exceptional status tag is it's a potential for a player to play in major junior a year before they should be eligible. Just because they've been so dominant at the lower level, they say that to help this boy continue, it would be ashamed to hold him back when there's nothing left to prove at that age group. And Joe was one that was given that status. So he was drafted at 50.
It's crazy.
And usually the age of 60.
Yeah. And drafted and played, right? Like he played his first year, correct?
That's right. Now, Joe didn't live with us at first.
Okay.
Joe did come to us his second year, his second season.
Okay.
So that's something that got Joe in the league a little bit early, and then of course he's had some real success
For sure.
through the Q and then into the NHL.
Unreal.
And we get to go see him. We try to see him when we can. We went to Montreal before Christmas last year and saw 2 games and got to see him play. It was great.
Good
to see him playing. Yeah. And he always finds time for us. We go out to dinner with him.
That's great.
Yeah. We try to go to Montreal anyway for some hockey, and usually try to find a Thursday, Saturday, 2 games, and on the Friday night we were able to spend with Joe.
The picture you used, Cliff, those 2 billets, they're from Montreal. Charles Savoie and Chris Innes. They played together at Concordia University as well. So when we go up to Montreal before Christmas, we spend time with those boys too. So
it's funny you mentioned Boko too, because Boko, when we traded for Boko, it was the same trade period as Jason Bell. We traded and we got Jason. We had lost Blaze because he was down in junior. Very upsetting. He's only our second billet, and it's just hard to see them not succeeding and being upset and wanting to be there. And Heather did make the comment at that point, like, we're not doing this. I don't like this hard. It's too hard.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it anymore. And
it was hard on Colin.
it was hard on the boys and hard on me too. Shanna reached out and I said, I don't think Heather's quite ready yet, but just give it some time. I think we'll take another player. She said, well, we're going to have some changes at Christmas. So I'm just wondering if you guys will take someone. And I said, well, we'll see. She messaged me once and said she wanted to talk. So she said, so we got 2 players coming in. I've taken the liberty to pick Jason Bell for your home if you're willing. He's a smooth skating defenseman coming from Cape Breton. The other player, I don't know if you know him, but his name's Boko Imama. I just remember I already made Heather take a goalie. I wasn't going to turn around and ask him to take a fighter because that's what he's known for. So she said I took the liberty to make the choice myself. Having said that, Boko is a fantastic guy.
Yeah.
He spent a fair bit of time there.
Colin loved
Colin and him just hit it off.
Big Boke.
Yeah.
I had Sea Dogs season ticket for a couple years, and it was around that time. It was Veleno and then Matthew Joseph and Boko. So when they were there, and my boy was really young. We used to call Joseph Joseph. Joseph.
Yeah.
He was just a little nugget running around. I always loved Boko Imama.
I loved Boko. Colin used to call him Poco Yo Mama.
Poco Yo Mama.
Poco Yo Mama. And he used to ask him all the time, you want to come over for a play date? Boko would come on over to the house. But I think Shanna was good at gauging where our family was because Boko did fight a lot in his early days.
Yep.
And Colin was he was very impressionable then.
Yeah.
And
all of a sudden he wanted to be a fighter. Yeah.
It wouldn't have been the best fit, but Boko spent a lot of time at our house and the boys loved it.
Oh yeah.
You have a hot tub, I hear.
We did.
Well, that's thanks to Jason Bell. Jason wanted us to get one.
Okay.
And we got it after he was traded. So
Yeah.
he was really disappointed that he said, of course, you
Yeah.
get what I asked for after.
Now
I was
you
traded."
get it.
I feel like I should put a plaque on it that says that it's the
Home
Jason
of
Bell
Jason
hot tub.
Bell.
But that's funny. I remember back with Boko too. Remember one time Colin was sitting on the love seat. We were at the island, and he's talking, and we hear this voice talking back to him off his
Oh, yeah.
tablet, and he says, "Who are you talking to, Colin?" He says, "It's just Poco." And it's like,
Poco.
"What?" He said, "It's Poco.
Yeah.
Poco your mama." And then we hear the voice say, "Colin, it's Boko, Boko, Boko."
Colin goes,
And
Same thing.
I come over and look. It's like, it is Boko. But that just goes to show how these players get to be part of your family. And he never lived with us. But get to know the kids over hanging out with our players.
Yeah.
And and we're always welcoming to all the players. In fact,
100%.
we think that makes the team. If the guys want to hang out with each other outside of the rink, by all means, if you want a place to gather, come to our place.
That makes sense to me.
Because a team that enjoys being around each other and does things together off the ice, I just think they're that much tighter. And it's like,
That
you know what?
teamwork.
Now you're playing for yourself, but you're playing for your buddies. They're not just playing for your teammates, you're playing for your buddies. And that sometimes I feel gives a little extra.
When you have that friendship piece and you feel like everyone's a brother, and the
Yeah.
whole team gels better.
You don't want to
And
let your brothers
They
down.
do.
I'm glad you give them that safe space to do that too. And it's easier for them to hang out and be themselves
absolutely.
outside of the public eye, because
That's right.
you can't go to whatever the local doolies and hang out
No.
with 6 Sea Dogs friends and just do it normally, right? Like
That's
it's
right.
you're on your best behavior and who's watching us, and people are always coming over to talk or whatever. It's different when they can come to your place and just hang out in the hot tub.
It was a really special time for Joe because Spencer was the captain. Spencer lived with us. Spencer had the boys over a lot.
Mhm.
So Joe was able to be a part of a lot because he was a lot younger. So when the boys went out, Joe wasn't going. Spencer would bring the boys to the house quite a bit.
Yep.
And Joe was a part of everything.
That's huge.
It was huge. Spencer, I have to say, he was born to be a captain.
I love it.
He was. Spencer
Explain
was
that.
born to be a captain.
Tell me about it.
He's probably one of the most humble and giving, kind personalities we could ever meet. He gave so much of his time. And it's not easy when you're in your 19-20 season to take care of a 15, 16-year-old player.
You could just
But guess
turn a
what?
blind eye.
He did it with grace, and he brought all of the other players on board. I think that's why Sam was always so special and close to us.
Yep.
Because Sam came in with Spencer and not took care of Joe, but they made Joe feel a part of everything.
That's huge.
And they did it together. It was a special time. It's probably one of our most favorite seasons.
Okay.
Was that crew, just because it was such a special time with a special group of guys, and they really spent a lot of time together. John would come home from work, and if there were 15 pairs of shoes at the front door, he would go back out to the car and text me and say, "What do I need to pick up?"
Yeah, I'll go out
I'd
and
be
get
like,
burgers and stuff for the barbecue because the boys are over.
"Hot
The
burgers, hot
dogs are over.
Guess what? They're here. And you know what? That's what we wanted. We wanted them to be able to come together because Joe was the youngest. His schedule was different than the boys, but he always felt a part of it. And Spencer made sure of that.
Well-
Spencer was special that way.
Kudos to Spencer Smallman then on that, because that is one of the biggest things, in my opinion, of being part of the leadership group is you need to be inclusive and make everyone feel a part, right? Especially Joe, being so young, could have very easily had his early junior career tainted by not feeling like he was part of the big boys team. He could have felt like, I just don't fit in here, and he would have packed up and went back to Quebec. Who knows what would have happened to Joe Valeno hadn't it been for Spencer Smallman and his leadership, bringing the boys over to the Britton home and turning it into like, hey, let's go hang out at home. Let's play Xbox or whatever they're doing, eating all your food.
Included our boys too.
I tell you what, Colin and Eric, the cool memories that those kids have is unreal, right? Like a lot of kids grow up looking up to Sea Dogs or NHL players, wanting to get to that level, wondering what it would be like to meet some of these people. You've probably heard that saying, you never want to meet your idols because you're probably going to be disappointed. But these boys don't just get to meet their idols, they get to live with them and become family members, and then realize that, oh, they're just humans too, just like me. It makes it easier for them to communicate effectively with everybody throughout the rest of their lives when you can kind of bring everyone down to the same level. Oh, we're all just humans here and
I think so. Yeah.
going through it.
And that's the thing. We get so much out of this too.
Yeah.
And that's one thing for the boys that I believe they get so much out of it. And it's not lost on them now at this age. They look back at this point at the ripe old ages of almost 19 and 16, and they're like, man, we were lucky.
Yeah, for sure.
We were really lucky. And, I guess mission accomplished for me. I was talking about earlier on when I just wanted Eric to have a big brother to look up to. And yeah,
now he's got 70.
Have had 17 of the best big brothers that they could ask for. They truly have had the most amazing memories and adventures to be a part of. You can't even wish for this. There's times I walk by Colin's bedroom and I hear him playing Xbox, and I open the door and I'm like, that's an absolute man. Who are you playing with?
I'm playing with Smallman.
That's exactly.
Yep.
He's like, Mom, I'm playing with Spencer and his teammates. Don't embarrass me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mom, well, then they need to stop swearing and tone it down. And then I will get a text within 5 to 10 minutes.
Sorry, Mrs. Britton.
Sorry, Heather. And I'm like, yeah, well, tone it down.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. He's still a kid. But they truly have had some of the best adventures and memories. In the early days, they just thought it was fun.
Yeah.
But guess what? For those big boys, in those early days, they got to come home and not have somebody say, how many goals did you score?
Yeah.
What did you do? Colin's biggest question was, do you want to play mini sticks?
Yeah, that's
do you want to
huge
watch
for
a movie?
them.
They could turn off, walk in that door and turn right off and walk downstairs and no, there's no hockey talk here. Like, those kids don't even care. Do you just want to watch a show? Can I hang out with you? So they actually got to come home and turn it off.
Decompress.
Yeah. And I don't think that was lost on them. I think they knew how lucky that was.
That right there is a tactical take. Well, that is a good one. It is true, though, to not be asked those questions, to not go through the car ride of, oh, this is what you should have done. You got to dig the corners here more, but it's now come home and you have little brother Colin saying, let's play mini sticks. You can just totally shut your brain off and just be a kid and just live and enjoy life.
I think one of my favorite memories when Colin was younger, especially, was that Spencer would come upstairs in the mornings. Wasn't always a morning person. And if he came up with his hoodie up, just leave him alone. He would sit down at the island, start his breakfast, and Colin, no filter, walk right over, crawl right up his lap, sit on his lap, take his hoodie down, and start chatting to him. And Spencer would never, like...
I bet you've seen him brighten up.
Yes. And I always thought... But then I'd look over and I'd be like, Colin, when we got Blaze, he would take naps on game days, and Colin would wait outside his bedroom door. This kid was not quiet as a 3-year-old, but he could be quiet for an hour and a half while he waited there with his arms and legs crossed. And I would go down and I'd be like, what are you doing? And he'd be like, wait. Like, okay.
That is so
And then he would get up from his nap and Colin would be ready just to wish him good luck. Not, do you want to play? Like, the boys always knew, like, it's game day. We're in the mode. We're going to be quiet. Like, it was never...
It
was just easy. That was our family life.
They knew what to do. It just became part of the Sea Dogs game day.
Yeah.
And the young boys knew it. That's so cool.
Yeah, we had rules for them about that. Just say, you can't bother them.
Yep.
You need to leave them alone. They're having a nap, and they need to have their nap.
Yep.
Because they're here to play hockey, and this is what they do before they play. So you'll have lots of time to play with them, but there's no knocking on their doors. They come and join us when they are ready to join us. But Colin, he would go and wait. Just sit and wait. Waiting outside the door.
He ever was.
Yeah. Well, we've always that's a philosophy we've always had as a billet family is that, like Heather said, and like you had said, like there's so much hockey in their ears all the time. Like that's what they're here for. And every one of these boys, they are high achieving hockey players to get to that level.
Yep.
And you know what? They all have that dream that they're going to go beyond. They get hockey all the time. They don't need hockey from John and Heather.
Yeah.
They don't need advice from us about hockey. They need a place they can come back and not talk about. If they want to, we tell them, you're more than welcome. I love hockey. I'll talk about it all the time with you. But that's if you want to. I'm not going to deconstruct your game.
Yep.
You got enough of that. This is the place you can come and just chill. When you're home, you're chilling. And you do as you wish. And you don't have to worry about that hockey stuff if you don't want to. I would wait to talk to them after games sometimes if they've had an exceptional game. I just want to tell them, like, that was a pleasure to watch that game. You were so fantastic. And I just wanted to tell you how awesome that was.
Yeah.
But that was really, that would occasionally happen. But a number of times when the game didn't go so good, or maybe our player had a difficult game. We always tell the kids, like, don't talk about it. They don't,
We're going to bed.
They don't need to hear about. Don't even ask them how it was. I'm going to tell you, it wasn't a great game. They're probably not going to be happy. We don't need to talk.
You two have it figured out.
So we've done it for a while, and we've seen it. So we learn as you go, right? You learn as you go, and you learn what seems to work. And it seems that our style has worked well.
Yeah.
And I always gauge the success by the fact that these boys, some of them, when they were done the queue, they were done. They didn't play hockey in. And some of them are in the NHL now.
Yeah.
So two very big extremes, right? But they always want to stay in touch. Yeah. So they want to stay in touch, and they're always happy to hear from us. You can just tell. And usually the question is, are you coming to visit? Are you coming to visit? When are you coming to visit? And we have tailored trips around visiting players. We decided a few years ago to go to Valcartier in Quebec, to the Ice Hotel and that place there.
Great spot.
Well, it just so happened that one of our former billets was named Nick Gay, and Nick was playing for the Trois-Rivières-Lyon in the East Coast League.
Yep.
Well, Trois-Rivières is a little bit off the path from where we're going, but reach out to him, and just talking to him, it's like we have to go. Like, he's so excited, and we wanted to go, so we got to go see a game, got to hang out with him some. And then we decided on the way home, you know what? The billet Charles said, well, he was still in the queue, but had been traded. He's playing Rimouski. Let's go up to Rimouski and we'll visit him there. And so much fun.
You guys are diehard.
So much fun to see them there. And they're so proud to show around their new spot, right?
You could ask our boys, do you want to go to Disney or make a hockey trip and see your big brothers? They'll go hockey every time.
100%.
Yeah, every time.
100%.
We love it too. Yeah.
All right. Let's lighten it up a bit.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Quick questions, quick hitters here.
Okay.
I want to know which one of the billets was the biggest eater.
Oh, my biggest eater, Mateo Man.
Mateo Man. Defenseman?
Yes. He has a lot of beef.
Was that huge defenseman? Was he really big, like 6'6"? Oh, the beast! Yeah. How was that? Having him in your house?
You know what? Like it wasn't hard. He just ate a lot of beef.
Legit beef, right? Yeah, just a beef meat.
Yeah.
And it's like more beef. Where's Mateo Man from?
Sackville, New Brunswick.
Okay. Yeah. Big old country boy.
Yeah, he's headed to Ottawa training camp or development camp, and then on to Lake State University.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That's great. Who had the messiest bedroom?
You would know that better than me. Because sometimes she'd go down on road trips and she would take the liberty to clean the rooms up.
Just stink.
I feel bad, but it was probably Luke Wilson.
Wilson, come on, pal.
Luke left his contacts everywhere.
Just little contact lenses all over, stuck on the walls.
To the dresser.
Oh, come on. Luke, come on. Yeah, that's great. Who was the most competitive of them all? Like, you know, did you come home and like the billet and the boys, Colin and Eric, are like having a full out like competition boxing match or whatever? Jason Bell.
The boys beat Jason Bell at Super Mario Smash Bros. He stayed up for 6 hours straight one night to beat them the next day.
Oh, just practice his game. You know, that says something about that's that competitive nature of these kids, right? It's like, I lost to these kids, I'm not losing. Or stays up.
He was upstairs waiting for them to walk through the door the next day, and Yep, and I heard him screaming downstairs, "Yes, sir, I beat you."
Love it.
Yep.
Actually, just a few years ago, he was to our place for a visit.
Yeah.
I have a stand-up Pac-Man game downstairs, like
Old school, dude.
And I always tease my kids to get the high score. I say, I just dare you to try to beat the high score. Let me know when you do, because I'll just go beat it again.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jason came, he saw that, and I said, good luck, Jason. He's like, I can. I don't think so. Anyway, I didn't hear anything more about it until he was heading out the door. He said, oh, by the way, John, you might want to go check your Pac-Man because you got a new score.
Now, have you beat the score?
Oh, yeah. I did, but I mean, it just took Jason a few days, and I don't imagine he was home working on his Pac-Man game before he came to our house.
Definitely not.
So he's competitive. He's probably the most competitive, but they're all competitive.
Yeah.
They're all competitive. They hate losing.
That's good. That's what we need with the Sea Dogs organization.
And a lot of times, these players, again, they're stars where they came from, and their team's the best team because they're so good.
Yeah.
And they come here and they have a hard time sometimes when we're losing. It's like we've never lost. I've never lost this many games in a row, ever.
Yeah.
You can see that it is actually hard for them to process it.
For sure.
Adversity has not killed anyone.
No.
So it's good for them.
And then they sit around the island, talk to Heather, and
That's
it's
right.
all good. Bring
right.
back
Yeah.
for the next game. Who's the biggest video gamer of them all?
Yeah.
Luke Wilson.
He gets another number.
Luke, man, you're 2 up, pal.
I love Lukey.
Was too.
Hey, which one's most likely to leave the dirty dishes laying around? Luke Wilson? Luke, man. Luke, you're just,
Oh, poor
man, I don't know. Where's Luke at now?
Oh, Luke. He's doing his CPA in Halifax. Eric and I just spent dinner with him a couple weeks ago.
Is he the one with the kids now?
No,
That's hilarious. All right. Who slept the most? Sleepyhead. You know what? They probably all have the sleep.
Gino slept a lot.
No.
I think it was Mateo.
All right.
Mateo or Spencer.
Good. Was one of them a motor mouth? Never stopped talking?
No, I never had a motor mouth.
Is there one moment, like the funniest thing ever, that one of them has said that stands out in your mind? Is there anything?
Yeah.
And can you talk about it here on the tactical take?
Oh,
I think you can.
I don't want to call Dylan out, but
Well, Dylan,
Oh. Dylan. I
You-
thought you were going to talk about Charles.
I want the Dylan story. Let's do it. No, if you don't want to.
no, I have two. Dylan Rosny.
Oh, Dylan, and this is fresh too. Dylan's still with you, so let's go.
Okay, so I have two. Charles, he was annoying me one day, and I called him a wiener.
Yeah.
And he turned around and he said to Chris Innes, he said, "Sorry, you're just calling me a penis?" Like, no, I said a wiener. So that's his nickname to this day. I still text him and say, "Hey, wiener," and he says back, "Hey, wiener."
You have some players that are francophones and they're still learning.
And they don't.
100%.
Yeah.
That Charles was one of those.
That is
Dylan?
hilarious.
Oh, poor Dylan. I said I wouldn't to his mom, and now I'm going to. Poor Dill. I was telling Dylan about John and I were out one night with Trevor Georgie and his wife, and they had their beautiful little girl, Gianna, with them. And I was holding her, and she's getting bigger and bigger every time I see her. So I said to Dylan, I said, "Oh my goodness, she's almost as big as me now." And he said, "She's that fat?"
Oh, unacceptable.
Everybody just stopped.
Yeah,
and,
just
yeah, poor Dylan. He was like, "No, that's no."
language barrier.
Even Alexi, and Alexi's francophone too.
He knew.
Has come along really well. He just looked at Dylan.
Yeah.
And Dylan didn't. He was like, "What?
What?
What?" It took him a minute, and then he's like,
might
"Oh, I
choose
didn't
that
mean
big.
that. I said, I didn't
That
mean
big.
that." But
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
hilarious. Language
So-
barrier. That's all. All right, cool. I'm going to say an attribute, and I want you to give me the player that comes to mind right
Okay.
away. I'll go with John first. Who's got the biggest heart?
biggest heart.
Yeah.
I'd say Spencer.
Spencer Smallman.
Yeah.
Look at that. Heather's nodding in agreement. Good. Heather, who was the most determined sea dog?
Joe.
Delano.
But,
Okay, Joel Delano.
probably tied with Alexi Joseph. They're very similar, so I would say tied.
Excellent. Back to John. Who's the biggest jokester?
Do you have one,
Well,
Jason?
yeah. It was.
Okay.
The boys were little and he loved playing tricks on.
Yes, that was. Yeah, when they were little, that
Yeah.
did bring out some more of the funniness from our girl. And our boys were little.
For Sam, but Jason
Was Jason a little bit of a prankster with the boys, or what?
was.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can you think of anything in particular that he did?
Oh my goodness. We had a great big snowstorm and he made tunnels outside in our front yard and he put Colin in one and then closed him in it and left him out there.
Let him find his way through the tunnel system?
No, we just heard him screaming and Jason's just standing there.
Yeah, just normal teenage
Yeah.
boy stuff.
It was. But
Wow.
he grew up an only child. He didn't have any siblings, so it was easy for him to get them going.
That is great.
Yeah.
Heather, who was the most polite of them all?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Spencer Smallman, he's winning. I bet you he's gonna get the next one. Also, the most mature at 16.
We didn't have
You
Spencer
didn't
at
have him at
16.
16. Yeah. Okay,
No,
so
we
who's
get
the most?
I go with Egan. Yeah,
Egan Beverage.
Egan Beverage.
Okay, Beverage 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Who's the best cook? Was there anybody that could get in that kitchen
Yeah.
and
Oh,
Kuznetsov
he
can
would
cook?
make-
Oh, really?
He would make us crepes on Sunday mornings when there was no game.
Nice.
Oh,
Attaboy,
and
Jan.
he was good. Yeah, Jan made the best crepes.
I'll never forget his name because Xander, my boy, when he was younger, I was talking about, oh, you got to watch Kuznetsov out there. And he's like, what? Who's Netsov? Who's Netsov, Dad? I'm
Yeah.
like, no, Kuznetsov. Yeah,
That's funny.
Heather can take this one. Who was the most fashionable of them all? Handsome young man.
Jason Bell.
Jason Bell. There you
Yeah.
go.
Jason was Mr. GQ.
Nice. Nice. Style all day long, J Bell.
Absolutely.
Okay. And the biggest mama's boy?
Oh.
Do it. Do it. The big giant monster. Mateo Man is
Chris Innes. Yes. Yes, it's Chris Innes.
Chris Ennis,
Yes,
mama's boy.
definitely. I forgot about
You're welcome.
Christopher. Yes,
All right.
it's Christopher.
All right.
Yeah, definitely.
Nothing wrong with being a mama's boy.
No.
That's good.
No?
That's hilarious. And the biggest teddy bear then?
I did that. But those were oh. It was just easy with it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say Gareth.
John, is there one player that surprised you the most out of all of them? For whatever reason. This young man comes in your house and you're just like, wow.
Nick Gay. We had Nick for a short time.
Okay.
I was surprised that, and I shouldn't be, but just his competitive drive. He's here for a short time as our captain on a rebuilding team, and he was more of a mature player, and he really surprised me with how much he cared about this team and their attitude towards losing. Didn't want this team to feel comfortable losing, and they had lost a lot. Yeah, so I guess that was surprising to me in a good way.
Well, that's perfect. That's what we're looking for here. There we go. Heather, which player changed the most throughout the first time they walked into your home to now?
Yeah, he started out as a third goalie. They ran a 3-goalie system that year. Yep. But he never gave up. He bounced around the queue. He went from St. John to Moncton, Moncton to Charlottetown, Charlottetown to Halifax. And then he turned out to get a job as the Eagles goalie coach. He dug deep. He never gave up on his dream, and he made what he knew work out. I was always really proud when he came to town to play. St. John had a hard time beating him.
Yeah, that's good. And it probably felt good.
I was always happy to cheer him on wherever he played, but I always was happy to see him win here because it was a hard place for him.
Yeah.
As a third goalie, as a family, we're really proud to see him become a goalie coach and do so well. I would say, yeah, he grew a lot, matured a lot, and turned into a really outstanding young man.
That's great.
Yeah.
But he had a great Q career too. Q really
Yeah.
did. Yeah, look him up. Look his stats up.
I off topic. As a billet parent, do you get season tickets? That must be
Yeah.
part of the package. Okay,
Yeah,
you
get
would hope so.
2 for every player.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Well, let's talk about the NHL dream a little bit. Several of Your billets have gone on to have incredible careers. Some of them are in the NHL, ECHL, some are in the NCAA kind of pathway right now. You have some that are still in the mix waiting for their draft year. Is there a strange feeling watching someone that's on national television playing professional hockey and they were once in your house sitting around that counter asking for cereal? You know?
Proud moment.
It's proud. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're so happy to see them. So
Yeah.
happy to have been a little part of that journey. You can't help but think back to that 17-year-old guy, right?
Yeah.
But there now he is playing in the NHL or the AHL. Europe, we have several that are over in Europe playing professional hockey.
Where are they at over there, John?
Nick Gay's in Ireland. Will Dufour is going to play with Sam Doug McFalls in Germany.
Okay, Big Willie. My neighbor loves William Dufour.
Will is a personality.
Yeah.
I love Will. I have a soft spot for that kid, but we are in Europe.
That's awesome. Talking to all the coaches that come through here and players and whatnot. It's not all just trying to make it to the NHL. Like that's the ultimate goal for some of them. How cool is it that they get to continue their playing career in Europe, anywhere really, to be getting paid playing the game that you love, right? That's special. Real life can hit later, right? Where you can settle down and get your career. But the fact that it can take you all over the world for a few years, what a cool time.
Spencer, he's married, 2 little girls, still playing in the AHL and doing so well.
Where's he at right now?
Hershey.
Oh, yeah, the Hershey Bear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he won the cup with Chicago, right.
Struggle Wolves.
Then he went to Hershey from there. Spencer's made a real great career out of it.
Yeah.
Started a family,
Beautiful.
doing so well.
Excellent. And these guys, when they go off and play other places, it gives us a place to visit. So we went and saw Spencer when he was playing with the Carolina Hurricanes farm team.
Yep.
So we went to Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah, went to Charlotte, North Carolina. Great spot. We never would have put that on the map as let's go to Charlotte.
Yeah.
But we loved it. It was a really, really fun place. Now, most recently, we've had for the last 2 years, Sam Doug McFalls has been suggesting that you guys got to come visit me here in Germany. Like you'd love it. Well, now that Will is on the team, it's like, oh boy, now the pressure's really on, right?
Yeah.
There's 2 of them over there on the same team.
It sounds like it's happening, right?
Sam's pushing hard.
Yeah.
So I hope so.
You're hearing it here first on the Tactical Take. The Britton family.
We'll see.
Off in Germany watching. Well, this is, I think, pretty clear to me. Heather, especially, do you see an NHL player on TV when you're watching the game, or do you still see the 17-year-old youngster that was in your home?
You still see my big boy.
You still see. Tell me about this nickname that you called the Big Boys.
Well,
where'd that come from?
When we started, Eric and Colin were 3 and 6, 4 and 7.
Yeah.
And people I would say like, oh, tonight we're going to the hockey game. Oh, whose game? So I would say, oh, my big boys.
That makes sense.
They were our little boys.
Yep.
I do understand now, like Colin is 15, turning 16 and taller than some of our players.
Yep.
But to me, it's still
that.
they're my little boys, and my hockey players are my big boys.
Well, Colin, I'm sorry to tell you, pal,
Yep.
you're always going to be the little boy.
Baby.
Every once in a while, I grab onto my son. He's 14, but he's like a baby moose.
Yeah.
But I grab onto him like, you're still a baby to me. And I try to scoop him up and he's, don't touch me. I'm like, come here, boy. Let me scoop you up.
Exactly.
You know.
No, they are. They're still my big boys.
Yeah. My daughter walks around in stilts and just lags for days. Unreal. 17 billets. That's a lot. How many of them still call, and how many are you still in contact with?
All of them.
Every one of them.
Every single one.
Every single one.
Nice. Who checks in the most?
I would say it's probably Charles.
Yeah.
I would say it's Charles Savoie.
Okay.
Charles and I, we talk a lot.
Good. That's great.
It used to be Blade, but he's not working with Cape Breton anymore. So got a girlfriend now. We never hear from him. I know.
Well, that's your cue, pal.
It is.
Yeah.
And guess what? If you want, they think there's a Heather list. who's the favorite.
Oh,
And they all have their rankings. If you want to be top of the header list, all you have to do is reach out. That's it.
that's it.
Just
So
text or call.
you've heard
We
it
don't
here.
want tickets or anything. We
That-
don't want anything. We just want to hear from you. So that's it.
Remember, she has taken you all on as a mother. And that's all they really care
All
about
we want.
is a little communication. None of the
Yeah.
fame, none of that matters.
No.
Simple text, especially on Mother's Day, gentlemen. On Mother's
I do
Day,
hear from a lot of
we
them.
better be sending Heather a little something.
Birthdays, Mother's Days,
Right.
Father's Days. We do.
Excellent. When they come back to St. John, do they ever pop in and raid your fridge?
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
pretty normal.
And you know what the funny thing is? They always ask, can I look in the pantry and can I go
Snacks.
downstairs and see my room?
Yeah, I want to go see the room too. There's something about
Yeah.
it, right? Like
Yeah.
there's
So
so
the
many.
pantry's a big one though. Can I just look in the pantry?
It was their probably at that time their place of like peace in a way. So I was like, go to the pantry and you open it up and it's like, ah, yeah, snacks. So they probably
Yeah.
just want to go back to that comfort zone. Let's talk Sam Dove McFalls a little bit. Okay. So Sam technically wasn't one of your billets.
No.
But you consider him in your family. What makes someone become part of your family? And what specifically about Sam made this all happen?
The boys decided, our two sons, Eric and Colin, they decided Sam was our extra billet
Okay.
because Sam had amazing billet parents. They're good friends of ours and absolutely phenomenal people. Their son played rep hockey, so they traveled a lot. When they were traveling, Sam would stay over at our place.
Okay. So,
So-
there you go.
On a Sunday morning, if Spencer and Joe came up and I heard an extra step of footprints coming up or heard somebody coming up the stairs, I knew it was Sam.
Yeah.
But the boys just became very attached to him. Eric and Colin just felt like he was theirs.
Well, Sam was part of the leadership group too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spencer was captain and Sam Mornay. Sam was francophone.
Yep.
And Spencer was Fredericton anglophone. And I've never seen it done so well, drawing the English and French players together. And I think they both felt it's really important to not have that line in the dressing room.
For sure.
And many strategic times in the hot tub with the two of them said and talking. They were talking about what can they do to make this work.
Wow.
So they were really good friends, and it was just a matter of them trying to draw the rest of the team in. And Sam just spent a lot of time at our house. But we always told him, you are welcome anytime. And I do know his billet said that, you know what, Sam, if some nights you don't make it home, if you haven't reached out to us, we're assuming you're at the Brittons and you better be there.
Yeah.
And that's okay with us, if it's okay with them. And we were friends. We said, of course, it's okay with us.
Yeah.
Sam's over, and Sam, you're welcome anytime. So we just spent a lot of time at our place, and he's such a friendly guy, and he was so good with the kids. Just
Huge. I love the fact that you had two players of the leadership group sitting around the hot tub discussing how they can make sure that there's no division amongst the team.
Oh,
Like
they
that
were
is
terrific.
so,
Yeah.
that's something that the average fan doesn't hear about, right?
Yeah.
And how important it is because you're right. There can be a divide really quick with the French English
it's a
thing.
very easy to buy.
And yeah,
Yeah.
it's so ridiculous, but it's just, it's territorial. Humans are that way. It's just the way
Yeah.
it is. It's like, the French fellas, the English guys. And that can ruin a team pretty quick. And the fact
Yeah.
that these two leaders were in there hashing up ways to make sure that that didn't happen, that's huge for
Yeah,
the
and
Sea
when they would have guys over, we didn't even see that. It's not like, oh, all the English guys are over.
Mhm.
It was just like it was all the guys. It was all the guys
Oh,
were over.
guys.
And that was probably in all of our years, that group in like 2017-ish was probably the most tight knit that we saw. The next championship team, that was in through COVID, and people weren't allowed to go to other houses.
Yep.
That was hard. That was a really hard time for all the players too. And like Heather had mentioned earlier, Charles spent Christmas with us because he'd already quarantined, I think 3 different times that season. He said, I just can't do it again, go home and come back, and all the quarantining each time. So we were quite happy and privileged to have him for Christmas. That was a lot of fun for us.
Yeah.
And he didn't have to go through that again, but that was a team that just they weren't physically weren't allowed to get together.
Yeah.
But not just them, it was all across, I think, all across Canada.
What a weird time that was, eh?
Yeah.
was.
So
It was
I'd love to see another time when it seemed that this team was as tight as that crew in 2017.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're going to see that again real soon.
Yeah. Well, this it looks like the Sea Dogs are really tooling up right now. Like the draft night was insane with the amount of
was.
trades up, down, and they're making moves or moving and shaking. They got the new coach in, and hopefully it works out. But the junior hockey QMJHL, like it's weird how it goes into cycles, but you can kind of almost predict the cycles of like the downturn, and then a couple years later they push for it.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at right now in the Sea Dogs.
The Sea Dogs have been I've always felt very, very good at that.
Yeah.
They're a boom and bust team. I think the philosophy has always been that we want to win, but you can't just be good every year in, year out. If you want to win, you're going to have those down years as you're building assets, and they've just done really well with that. I always admire that. But now there's been changes in the rules with the NCAA eligibility, and so I think all that stuff's out the window now. I'm just glad I'm not Trevor trying to figure out how I'm going to put this team together, because it's got to be extremely challenging with all these options these players have.
Stressful job.
And we even saw last year players leave mid-season, not from here, but from other teams, just like for going to college. That wouldn't happen before. Once they played in the queue, they are here. They couldn't go down there. So it's very challenging, I'm sure, and I'm glad I'm a Village parent and I don't have to worry about that stuff.
Excellent. All right. How you guys doing? You all right?
Good.
Yeah. You don't feel like you've been here too long?
Nope.
How long do you think you've been here?
I don't know. I don't have to work tomorrow, so it's fine.
No, that's good. We've been at it for a bit. We're gonna keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
Are you in contact with the new coach? Like, does he have communication with the parents at all?
Not yet, but he just was announced like a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
So that's not abnormal. Usually by the time training camp comes around, you'll meet him and
I'm hoping to have him here in the hot seat.
Oh, good.
Right across from me. I started kicking the tires right away, and it worked out that one of Tactical Edge Pro Shop's employees happened to play high level baseball with his son.
Oh,
so
good.
Oh,
his son reached out to him, and I have his contact information. I'm like, oh, this happened fast, and he said he'd come sit down. He's away right now, and he won't be back until August. But I'm hoping that he'll be sitting across from me at some point and giving me his perspective on building the Sea Dogs.
Good.
Well, we're looking forward to meeting him.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of good things about him. Having said that, we were, again, schooled at a very early time in our building is that you do not talk to the coach.
He'll talk to you.
That's right. As much as it upsets you that your player might be scratched, you do not talk to the coach. That's not our place to do that. And so the discussions we have with coaches are usually driven by the coach.
Yep.
And there are times when we've had calls from the coach, like,
checking
this player is just seems like something's off. Like, can you guys help us out? What's going on at home? Is there something bothering him that we don't know about that we can try to help unlock this, because he's not seeming himself at the rink, and we're just wondering if he seems himself at home.
Yeah.
So there is that communication sometimes, and but it's usually coming from that end. We stay in our lane as best we can.
Yeah.
Excellent. I've heard we've kind of danced around it here a little bit with your own two children, Eric and Colin. They've essentially grown up with 17 big boys, big brothers. Right?
Yeah.
Have the two of you looked at your small boys and seen the impact that all these billet kids have had on them? Do you see little pieces of each player within them now?
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's probably helped them mature in a way that.
Absolutely. And we've had times, I mean, we're a real family.
Yeah.
It's not a show home. We all live in it, and some days are harder than others.
Yep.
But some of these big boys have really stepped up and been great big brothers, and you can't talk to each other that way. You have to be nicer. Like, they've been a 100% hands-on part of the family, and all of them. So our boys definitely show signs of each and every one of them And that's the beauty of this. They've each come into our home and our family at different ages and stages.
Yes.
So they each hold a special place in our family from when they came in.
So
Yeah.
do you believe your boys are probably more mature because of all the experiences and all the
Sometimes.
extra knowledge that they've got from these young men?
Sometimes they're more
I think so.
stupid from it.
I think so. And it's funny, like Heather said, they come into our family, especially with our own children at different points in their lives. Like Blade was there when Eric was 6, and Eric's 18 now. And then we had Egan Beveridge. Now we talked about Gareth Nicholson, our first one. He was only with us for a couple of weeks, so the shortest one we've had, really.
Yep.
And then the longest one we ever had was Egan Beveridge for 2.5 years.
Okay.
Egan is only 6 months older than Eric, and those two hit it off really well. And even this summer now, Egan plays for Quebec Ramparts now. He got traded last year.
Okay.
And Eric plays in a summer league here, which is really just a bunch of guys that he played minor hockey with. And it's a summer league that Gord Ross put together, and we pick our teams. It's all for fun. And question was, what number do you want? He was very quick to say 43. 43 was Egan's number when he was here. He didn't even bat an eyelash about it. And it's like, wow.
They all have a little impact on.
There you go.
They
Yeah.
do.
Cool as that.
They really do.
I love it. I love it.
Heather and Eric made a road trip to Sydney, Cape Breton, see Egan play because they weren't coming back here.
Yeah.
But they went to see him. They had an opportunity to go. And of course, Blade was coaching for Cape Breton. So it's like you
Two
get to see
birds, one
two of them.
stone.
And yeah, they had a great time seeing Egan. I think that was, and I think that was
We
good
followed
for
him to
Egan too.
Halifax too.
And
So
then
we watched him play 2 games in Sydney and then 1 game in Halifax and then came home.
They rode a lot.
Well, they were supposed to come home after Sydney, and then she messaged and says, "Do you mind if we go to Halifax?" Egan said that.
Such a drive.
Yeah, Egan
He'd
said
like
that
us to
he'd
come.
like us to come, and he could spend a little more time with us if he came down. Well, I'd say no. Yeah, go for it.
Heather,
Yes.
when hockey's all over for these boys, what do you hope every one of your billet big boys remember about your home?
That it was home for them. And it's always home.
Excellent.
Yep. It'll always be home for them. They know that too. We tell them you can always come back, but that it was home.
That's huge.
Yes.
And it's cool to hear your stories. I mean, that you're traveling and you're going to see them and you're seeing them with their young families and, you know, supporting them in their future endeavors, right? Their coaching careers and different things like that. So what a cool experience. Good.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Lighten it up again for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Lighten it back up for you.
Go
Here.
ahead.
All right. Who was always running late?
Joe.
Delano.
Oh, Joe.
Come on, pal.
I love him. Poor Joe. He was a slow eater.
You know what? My son's like that. Drives me nuts. I can't.
But it's because they're trying to put on weight.
Yeah.
So they have to eat so much. So, but Joe is always slow at eating. And I always,
It's like, come on, we have to go somewhere. Let's go,
Yeah.
pal.
Oh, there was one time that Spencer
know
was
what
driving
you're
him.
gonna
Yeah,
say.
Spencer would drive him, and Spencer would want to get going. And
Yeah.
Joe was so slow. Sometimes Spencer would go to the car and just wait.
Yeah.
And we'd say, "Joe, we got to get going."
I put it in a Tupperware container and send him with it.
So Joe, get out there. Spencer wants to get going. And there was one time Joe wasn't even in the car and it was moving. He had the door
Starting to
open
roll.
and the car started to go, and he had to jump in.
But he texted me
Yeah.
and said, "Don't worry, I'm okay."
Oh, that's
I was
beautiful.
like, "That's great."
That's awesome. Yeah, good way for a Sea Dogs player to get injured. Boys will be boys. Hilarious.
Very patient.
Who was the first one at the dinner table, seated and ready for a meal?
That was probably Aiden.
Yeah.
Aiden was always up helping. So
That was Aiden McIntosh. Yeah.
Aiden was always up helping me cook. So Aiden was always the first to the dinner table.
That's another guy with a big heart.
Yeah.
Talking
Yeah.
to Spencer. Like,
Aiden McIntosh.
Yeah, he's
All right.
from Moncton.
Yes, sir. Where's he at now? Do you know?
Aiden just won a championship down in the States with Everett.
I forget.
where.
yeah, they just won.
His dad's actually a dentist in Moncton.
Okay.
So
That was interesting when Aiden had an incident where his teeth got bashed in And so I'm talking with Dad in Moncton about who wants
Glad you said that.
to do what here, right?
We've had 3 of them take a putt to the face.
This is huge.
Okay. Aiden won a championship with the Evansville Thunderbolts
Okay.
in the SPHL.
Well, there was a kid in the shop today, last name Downey, goaltender, Michael Downey. I had to think about it for a minute, but I'm pretty sure he's potentially heading to the SPHL.
Okay.
Either a tryout down there or training camp, but he's leaving in July. He'll try to make one of these teams. What's one thing that every Sea Dogs fan out there should know about Bill Penrith?
You get far more out of it than you put. And you really do. The experience, the adventure, the memories, the bonds that are built, you get far more out of it than you're putting into it. And it's far more rewarding than I think you could ever imagine.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
Is there a distance limit for being a billet parent? I thought at one point there was, you could only, couldn't be in Hampton. It had to be as far as KV only.
I think so. There's a billet family in Grand Bay.
Okay.
And the further end of Grand Bay.
I don't think there's a limit. It's just that
think so.
I guess the closer to the rink, the better.
Yeah.
But I don't think that the organization actually has a map that says you cannot if you're from here.
And
I think they're more interested in finding.
Yeah.
And I think if they could find, say, you had 3 families in Hampton,
Yep.
that's more appealing because you have 3 players that can be close to each other. So it makes it easier that these 3 guys
They can carpool, go for
and hang out together and be close to each other. So I think it's more about how much we have around each other as opposed to actual limit.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'll have to talk to my neighbor and my other neighbor.
Yeah.
Get a little pool
You
going
should,
here.
Because guess
and get the
what?
boys
We're
going.
looking to build it up. So
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to give
If
up
you want-
I'll have to give up my tactical take studio though.
Well,
Turn it into
well,
another
if you
bedroom.
That's where you put the first one. I don't know where you're gonna put the next one.
Yeah. But down in the basement, there's my mother's down there right now. We're gonna be moving. Well, she's moving out. Actually, yeah, she just sold her house and she's here temporarily.
Transition,
While
yeah.
Oh, we did that once too.
we're trying to find her
Yeah.
apartment in Quispam. Actually,
Yeah,
Just-
we did that once too. My parents live with us.
John.
Yeah.
You're a dentist.
Yes.
That is your profession. Teeth,
Mhm.
love it. Beautiful smiles. I have a real problem with junior level hockey.
Mhm.
These guys with the half visors.
I know.
John, can you get on board with me and can you tell them all that it's time for the bubbles to be full time?
Yeah.
And if not, half bubble, half cage thing, let's bring
I
it
would
out.
be a big fan of that. You're
Yeah.
right. As a dentist for sure. And I've seen too many of my own billets with dental injuries that I just makes me want to cry looking at them. I haven't played hockey in a long time, but when I did, I overworked age.
Yeah.
Even when I didn't have to. If I didn't want to worry about the face. I was so awkward out there that I would probably get myself in the face with a stick. So
There's so many things you get hit in the face with.
the guys
The
get
puck, the stick, the skate. It's just
elbows,
just don't get it.
fists,
Yeah.
all sorts of things. And sometimes it's friendly fire, puck off of your teammate.
Yeah.
Catch you in the mouth.
I watched the Golden Knights player, don't know what his name was.
yeah.
92 mile an hour shot or whatever. And you just see him standing in front of the net.
Yeah.
And it's just why? And he kind of does this. And I can't imagine getting blasted into the face with a puck like that and then being like, oh, that's just part of it. Your teeth are all knocked out, shattered.
Yeah.
Four.
I think there's 4 of them that we've had
Yeah.
to do some significant work on.
I had 2 of them sitting in that seat. Jackson Bellamy lost some teeth, and then Liam Kilfoyle was across from there. And he's like, yeah, I got a scar across here.
Yeah.
Jackson Bellamy was talking about I had 18 stitches in my mouth and this and that. I'm like, boys, why don't you just put the bubble on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just solve this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even some of our billets that didn't sustain those injuries when they lived with us, they have since playing
Yeah.
hockey. And just some real nasty jaw and dental injuries. It's breaking my heart.
The tactical take, John, is what?
I don't know how we're going to get it to happen. I don't think the players want it.
They don't. They definitely
They
don't.
don't.
Yeah.
The only way it will ever happen is if they're forced into it, or a bunch of superstars that are young, like Connor Bedard and these young studs out there,
Yeah.
just decide, I'm wearing the bubble now. and
Yeah.
it becomes the cool thing, and then it spills into the minor hockey leagues, and everyone wants to wear the bubble, and
Yeah,
it just becomes
think
like
you're right.
we all wear bubbles now.
Yeah,
but
it's true.
Until then, it won't happen.
I don't have that kind of power. I'll just fix them when they break.
I'm going to start with Heather, make her all emotional. Imagine every one of your 17 big boys are listening to this Tactical Take podcast right now, and you have 30 seconds. What would you want them to know that maybe you never actually said to them out loud before?
Been an absolute honor and privilege to be a small part of your big journey and watching you make the dream come true. And being your family has been more than a joy for our family. So thank you for taking us along for the ride.
Beautiful. That's it. That's a nice one right there. John, same question for you. You have 30 seconds. Take your time. Something that you would like to say to these young men out there.
No, I would want to thank them all. They know that I'm thankful, but for being a part of our family, and they definitely are. They know this, and we just appreciate the time that they spent with us. We love watching them grow. There's a lot of changes that happen in stages, and watching them grow and then seeing what they've become. It's just uh, so much pride, and it's inspiring to see. And their pathways have all gone different, but to see what they're doing and see what they're doing in their personal lives, and it's just so nice. So it's just pride, right? And not that we had much to do with that, but just knowing them when they were in their teenage years and seeing what they've become, and kind of hope that someday our boys will kind of follow suit with some of the personal things that have come along with them. Yeah, it just brings smiles. It brings tears to her. It brings smiles to me.
I love it. And it makes me feel good over here.
This is why we keep doing it. But I think we're addicted. We just love adding to the family.
Yeah.
And every time one goes, it's so sad and heartbreaking. And then another one comes in, and like Heather said, within 24 or 48 hours, it's like, we got another one. This guy adds a whole new dynamic to the family. And yeah, I think it's great.
Beautiful. So this year, the two kids living in your home are Dylan Rossi and Alexi Joseph.
Yeah.
Best of luck to those two young men as they go into this 26-27 Sea Dog season. Support this team to keep it here. Without the support people, that's how St. John loses a team. They don't have the support of the fans. Now,
and I will say Trevor and Scott have put a lot into this season to turn a page, turn a corner, and really engage the community as a whole to back this team. And I mean, we're fully in, so it'd be nice to see the community get behind this team as well. There are some great young men. It's a great organization, and they've really put together a great coaching staff and really turned a corner from last season into this season. So I think it's a fresh start, and it'd be nice to see the community show support and get right behind them from day one.
You heard it here. So game one, home opener of the St. John Sea Dogs. We expect nothing less. Let's pack that barn. Let's get 10,000 strong in there.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know what it holds. Probably 10 is capacity, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, more like 65.
65. So can we get 5,500 in there? Can we do 55?
Definitely.
Let's pack it. On 3, I need the both of you at the same time to give me your best. Go Dogs, go. 1,
Easy.
2, 3.
Go Dogs, go!
Beautiful. Thank you very much for coming in here to Tactical Take, sitting down here with Riff Pritchards. I appreciate your time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Excellent.
All right.
That's it.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I think it was
That
cool.
was fun.
I think it was cool.
Oh, brings back a lot of memories sitting here talking
It
about these
does.
guys. Thank you.
That's
Just to
fun.
hear a different perspective. And I think it's really cool. I think we did some real good work here.
All right.